Mr. Alan.
Oh, welcome back. You came back.
Thank you. Thank
Ah.
you.
Where'd you go? Went to New York?
No, Miami. I never go to New York.
You went to Miami?
Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good for you. Good for you.
it was hot like hell.
I know. I know. That's why I don't like it. I don't like it.
And rainy
Oh, wow.
and muggy. It
And
was
muggy,
nice.
yeah. Oh, it was nice though. All those things, and yet it was nice.
My sister lives there.
Oh.
My niece.
Okay, good. Okay.
I went to visit my mother's at the cemetery. So
Oh, your mother's buried there?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh. Uh-huh. She came from South America? Is that what she was from?
Yeah.
But she didn't live in Miami though, right? She didn't live, huh?
She lived in Miami for like 15 years.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh well, yeah, you gotta go too.
Hi, Harold.
Hello.
Harold.
Harold, you're cold?
My house, I had to come outside to warm up. The house was freezing.
Oh my.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the air on high, huh?
Yeah.
Well, listen, enjoy the weather tonight because it's really going to get hot this weekend. The heat wave's coming. We're going to get going to be in the 100. Yeah. By the time Thursday coming, it's going to be 100 degrees.
Okay. And not that's fine with me. I like hot.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I like
some
hot.
like it hot.
Some like it hot, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
No, but it doesn't say. It says next
Sunday, Monday, 104, 103.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, Saturday, 98. Wow.
In LA?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Sunday 104.
Wow. Be nice beach day.
Monday
Isn't the show
103.
picnic on Sunday?
Memorial 103.
Oh, Memorial Day, yes, Monday, yeah. Oh, it'll work, yeah.
Oh, Labor Day, yeah.
Yeah.
Labor Day. I'm sorry.
Gahakta Labor Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
Hi, Irene.
Hello.
Sorry.
Tomorrow night, I should have learned the Torah tonight. I was going to do that, but I didn't do that. Tomorrow night I'll be on hiatus because I'll be on my flight. So we're going to learn the Sorba Wednesday night at the normal time, 8 o'clock. And the Daf will be at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. So that works for my schedule.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay, so no Sorba tomorrow, no Daf tomorrow. Because I'm in the plane. It doesn't work out. But we'll do the Shir Wednesday night, the Sorba at 8 and the Daf at 9. And then Thursday will be the regular Daf. Tzvika's not giving a Shir. This will be 8 p.m.
Right.
Friday morning, it'll have to be the morning, 8 in the morning. Friday. Will that work out for me?
No, it won't.
Let me think.
6
No,
p.m.
it's
there.
6 p.m.
It's 6 p.m. in Israel. What time Shabbos there?
Okay, I'll be in touch with you guys Wednesday night, and I'll know a little bit more about the timing for Friday. Okay?
How long you gonna be? How long gonna be in Israel?
I'll be in Israel, God willing, 10 days.
Wow,
Wow.
beautiful. You have a
Lucky.
simcha?
My
Mirz
daughter,
Hashem.
my daughter's
Mirz-
expecting Mirz Hashem.
Oh,
Mirz
beautiful.
Hashem. Ernie,
Oh,
sorry,
beautiful.
I wasn't here for a second. What's the?
So the plan, tomorrow I'm in the plane, so we're gonna learn Wednesday night at Sorba at 8 o'clock.
By the way, the Wi-Fi works perfectly on LL. You can give the shield. I'm not joking. Okay, but it's
Okay.
fine.
Fine, so the question is what time?
No, I'm joking around. It's
No.
okay. It does work well.
So the question is, but what time is that gonna be?
No, but it's hard to get. It's fine. That's okay. So when are we going to learn on
Wednesday
on-
night, Sorba, 8 o'clock, and the Daf will be at 9 o'clock,
Wow. Okay.
Wednesday night. And Thursday night the Daf will be 8 o'clock.
So
Friday,
six in the morning. 6 in the morning for you, right? 6
yeah, I think
o'clock in the morning.
that worked very well for me because I went to Minyan right after. It worked that worked well. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. You should have a great trip.
Safe trip. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mazel tov.
David Rubin is on my flight tomorrow.
Oh,
Listen,
wow.
Listen,
Very
you're
nice.
going for a bris. You're going to see Eliyahu Novi, so you don't have a problem this time.
A bris or a brisket?
Okay, I believe we are on Nun Bays, 52.
Oh. Why, yesterday did two blood?
No, we did 51 yesterday.
When did you do 50?
Well, we did it. We did 1.5 blood. Shabbos.
Yeah, we did 1.5 blood on Shabbos.
Oh, because I sent the recording. It was a long recording yesterday, but I put 50 because I didn't.
50 and 50. Well, we did 51 yesterday.
Yeah, correct that.
Okay.
So Nun Beis Omer Aleph. So we said that a Kohen, when they write the ksuba, excuse me, they don't say, when I redeem you, I will take you back as a wife. They say, when I redeem you, I'll bring you back to the city, because he can't take her back as a wife because she's a halal, she's a zona, and halachically he can't remarry her. He can't stay married to her. Similarly, mamzeres unasina Yisrael. A Yisrael is not allowed to marry a mamzeres. Let's say he does. And a ksuba is written. Eino chayv levadosa. There's no chiyuv to redeem. She'ein ani koreba v'ozvinach lilientu. Because you can't fulfill the second part of the redemption clause, which says, so I can take you back as a wife. You can't, you've got to divorce her. And Rava gives us the general rule. Rava Omar. If the only thing that happened to this woman is that she was taken captive, chayiv lifdosa. There's no other problem in marrying her. Isser davar acher gorim law. If there's another isser, like a kohen gadol with an almana, a kohen with a grusha, a yisrael the mamzeres, eino chayiv lifdosa. In those situations, he would not be chayiv to redeem her, because he doesn't fulfill the second half of the clause. Lema kitanoi. Let us say that this concept is a subject matter of a machlokas tanoi. Hamadir es ishto. Person takes a neder that his wife cannot have benefit from him. Now, if he takes such a neder, he has to divorce his wife. You can't live with a wife if you can't provide hanoah for her. And now she's taken captive. Rabbi Yezer Omer poide. Then you have to redeem her, but then you have to divorce her, and therefore you give her her ksuba. V'nosen la ksubasa. Rabbi Yeshua Omer, no. Nosen la ksubasa. You give her her ksuba ve'ena poide, and she redeems herself. Amrav Nosen, Sha'alti Asumchus, Kisha Amrav Yeshua Noisen Lak Subos Avena Poide. When Rabbi Yeshua said he gives her the ksuba instead of redeeming her, is it Kishihidira Ulavasof Nishbet? It means he made the neder. And then she was taken captive. Oh, Bijanizbis, she was taken captive, and then Ulvasafidira. V'amar li lo shamati. And he answered me, I don't know specifically in which case he said the din. V'nirin, what makes sense, Tvarim, shehidira Ulvasaf nishbis. That it was a case where he made the neder and then taken prisoner. The amrit nishbis Ulvasafidira, if she was taken prisoner and then she made the neder, that's asili irume. He's gonna, every case when a woman gets taken captive, they're gonna make a trick and make such a neder, and he has to pay the ksuba, and that's it. And he doesn't have to worry about redemption. So that can't be the case. And my love, b'madir eishes kohen kamiflagi, and it's even more of an interesting machlokas. We're talking about the wife of a kohen, and the kohen made the neder of making her a mudarano. The abaya holds like Rabbi Eliezer. So whenever you can return, you return her, even if it's usher. Not like Rava. It's not, even if there's a side issue, you make a pediyah. So even if since there's a chiyuv to bring her back to the same city, there's no issur to do that. So Abai says he would redeem her. V'Rava Damak Rabbi Yeshua. Rava said before that if there's a side issue, you don't redeem her. Maybe he's holding like Rabbi Yeshua. The course is low. The machlokas Abai and Rava is not connected to this machlokas between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua. Hachmayas kinon, kigon shenodra ihi v'kiyim lahu. She made the neder, not to have a noah from him, and he didn't make for it, so he was mekayim the neder. So Rabbi Eliezer said, "Who knows saying edzba ben shinah?" It's like he put his finger between her teeth, and he created a situation where she's biting it. Because really the fault was her, that she made the neder. But he was Mekayim it, so he's part of it. So therefore he would have to have the requirement to redeem. But be sure, she started the whole problem by making the net in the first place. So he's not required. So well, if she's at fault, why is the ksuba paid? The su amrav nasan when he has the option of giving the ksuba not redeeming, he asked kishidiros of nishbes. Is it when the neder was made and then she was taken prisoner, or vice versa? If she is the one made the neder, what makes a difference? She made the she's the cause of the problem. And there's no issue with harama, like we said before. So he made the neder. Each one is mitaritz consistent with their shita. Now, Amana is not allowed to stay married to a Kohen Gadol. Yet, everybody holds he has to redeem her because he can bring her back to the same city. Mamzer Sunasin Yisrael. But since the language of a mamzeres nesina does not say anything about returning her to the same city, it says redeem her to take her back as a wife. He can't take her back as a wife. Therefore, kulam lo pligedena chayil fadoisa. There's no chiyuv of redemption because it's not connected to the pasuk of making her his wife again. So madir eshes kohen nami, in a case where a husband who's a kohen makes a neder not to have benefit from his wife, kula amalo pliged chayil fadoisa dainu amalo kohen gadol. It's the same thing because in the language of a kohen's ksuba we said is different. It doesn't say return her to make her your wife. It says return her to the city. So that's the same svara as the Amar Kohen Gadol. Ki pligi, where's the machloikes b'madir Eishes Yisrael? A regular Yisrael who's madir hanoah from his wife. Rabbi Yezer Ozel Basar Meikara. Rabbi Yezer follows that at the time they wrote the ksuba, he had the opportunity to be machzer and that she should be his wife. So the ischayvus is there, even though now, because he made a ned there. So we look at the way it was at the time that they wrote the ksuba. Rabbi Yeshua Azul Basar Basoif. And Rishon says, no, we look at what the status is now. Since he's a mudar hanoah, he can't marry her. So he has no chiyuv to be poider. That's a baya. Rava metarza tameh. Amar l'kohen gadol mamzeres nesil Yisrael kolam lo pligedenu chayil fadoisa. Almon l'kohen gadol, because it's a davar acher.
Is it Kedushin Tovson then or what?
Kedushin is toifson, absolutely.
And by Mamzeres also Kedushin
Absolutely.
Tovson?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ki pligi b'madir b'neishes kohen b'neishes Yisrael. Rabbi Yezer Ozel Basar Meikar. Rabbi Yeshua Ozel Basar B'Soif. We look at what the status was when they got married. When they got married, he could marry her. Only after the neder, Rabbi Yeshua says we look at what the status is now. The pirates take her captive when her husband's alive. And then, while she's in captivity, Meis Baila, the husband dies. Hikirbo Baila, if the husband before his death had been told that she was taken prisoner, Yorshin Chayav and Liftoisa. The heirs have a chiyuv to redeem her. Lo Hikirbo Baila, if the husband didn't know about it, Ein Yorshin Chayav and Liftoisa. Levi server lemevid uvda ki hamastisa. Levi wanted to pass like this brisa. Amar le Rav Achi Amar Chavivi. Chavivi said less hilchasa ki hamastisa. The halach is not like the brisa. Ela ki hadatanya. Nishbes lachar misas baila. The husband dies, and then she's taken captive. And remember, she's the mizonos are flowing from the Yisomim. Eina Yisomim chayv l'fadosa. V'la'od el afilu nishbes b'chayv b'ayla v'achkach beis b'ayla eina Yisomim chayv l'fadosa. She'eina nikoreba v'uz vinich li'intu. They cannot fulfill the second clause of the ksuba, which says, "I will redeem you, so I can go and marry you again." He's dead. So there's no chiyuv only in the life of the Baal.
Can't we say that once that if he dies in captivity before he dies, so he that immediately as soon as she's captured, he has that chiyuv to do it. Only when let's say he dies before she's captured, but if he dies after she's captured, the chiyuv remains with him. And then when children inherited, that chiyuv continues on to the children.
The Rambam says, "Ein choivas hapidyin ela b'chaye yabal, aval ha'almona einu niftes min nechosav." A widow is not redeemed from the assets. Va'afilu nishbesa b'chayav v'lo hispiku l'fadoisa, ein hayorshim chayav and l'fadoisa. That means she's taken prisoner while he's alive. and he didn't get the opportunity to redeem her, and then he dies, they still don't have to redeem her.
Mhm. Okay.
Ton Rabbanon. Nishbis. V'hayu mevakshim mimenu ad asar b'dameh. The pirates asked for 10 times her value. So, pan rishoina, poide. If it happens the first time, he has to redeem her. By chiyuv. Mikan ve'elech rotza poide, rotza eina poide. If the pirates smelled a good thing, they say, oh, we better go back and get her again, then it's up to him if he wants to do it or not. The Rabbanan only made it one, the takana being pointed one time. Rav Shimon Gamliel Oimer, Ein pointing this Ashvin Yisrael al Kedei Dmein. He says, we don't have a chiyuv to be poide, a prisoner, more than his value. Because if we pay exorbitant values, they're going to come and take more prisoners. Habichdid man pointed. But if they ask for the value, you do point it. Afal gav de pirkona yosrok subasa. Even though that value might be more than the value of the ksuba. V'rimini. I'll ask you a kasha. Nishbis. The pirate, the ksuba is 200 zuz, and the pirates asked for 2,000 zuz. Pan rishoina poide. The first time he has a chiyuv. Mikan ve'elech rotza poide, rotza ina poide. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer maya pirkona keneged ksubasa poide. If the ransom is the same as the ksuba, yeah, im lavena poide. So how can you tell me in the previous case, Rav Shimon Gamliel held that you have to redeem even above the value? Here he says no. Rav Shimon Gamliel trei kula islay. He has two different voices when it comes to redemption. One is regarding, in general, how much you have to pay. And you don't pay more than what the ksuba is worth. First, you don't pay more than her value. And second, you don't pay more than the ksuba. The halacha in Shulchan Aruch is, Ein poides hashvum yesral d'meim mipnei tikkun olam. Otherwise, the enemies are going to come and be kidnapping all day. But Adam Yachol if those is atzmo b'chol ma sheyirtzeh. V'chein poidin es gdoilei chachamim v'afta mei chachamim shenira shiyu anoshim chashuvim poidim oisam b'domim b'rubim because of achshach ki muter l'adam l'fdois es kroivov b'domim merubim ve'in moichim b'yodu kibin shem b'kach doichek l'tzibur. A private family can pay an exorbitant amount because that doesn't affect the tzibur. We know the famous case of Marami Rottenberg. There the request was on the tzibur, and he posted not to ransom him. After he died, his body was there for 6 years. Then a big oisher redeemed him, and he's buried next to Marami Rottenberg. I was at both of their kvaros. The guy who redeemed him also gets the same amount of candles that are put on Marami Rottenberg is on the guy who redeemed him too.
Where, in Israel?
It's in Worms.
Oh, Worms. Oh.
Worms, Germany. Right where Rashi's yeshiva is. I was zoicha to go there when I visited with my mother, when we went back with my mother. My sister and I went back to Germany with my mother. So they took us on a tour of Worms. One of the oldest cemeteries there. There's some graves from the year 900. The Nazis didn't find it, that cemetery. It was hidden away because most of the cemeteries they destroyed, like the one in Frankfurt and the other major cemeteries. Loksa, chayv for l'rapoisa. If the wife gets sick, he has a chiyuv to heal her. Torah bar almana nizonis b'nichse yisoyim. a widow is given food by the assets, by the Yisomim. Therefore, medical bills are treated the same way. So the Yisomim have to pay for that as well. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer, refuah sheyesh la kitzvah depends. If the refuah has a set price, she needs her gallbladder removed, it costs $1,000. Nisrap is miksubosa. No, then you deduct, let's say the value of the ksuba is $100,000. So you deduct it. So eventually when the ksuba is paid out, they only have to pay $99,000 because it's deducted. See, mizonos is ongoing. Mizonos is not deducted from the value of the ksuba. That's a very important fund of knowledge we need to know. Mizonos, as long as she's alive, mizonos is paid. Even if she uses up 1,000 times what's in the ksuba. But the ksuba has a value that's paid out eventually. So Rabbi Gamliel says, if refuah has a set value, then it's paid from the ksuba. She'ein la kitzvah, then harei k'mizonos. If it's ongoing medical needs, it doesn't have a, there's no set price because it goes on forever. Then it's treated like mizonos. On Rav Yochanan Asur because it's done b'Eretz Yisrael refuah she'ein la kitzvah. Bloodletting. At that time, they were following Galenic medicine. Galen was a Roman doctor, and they thought that there were things called humors. There was a black humor and a green humor, and you had to bleed people to make them better. George Washington was bled to death at Mount Vernon by bloodletters. Bloodletting was very risky. He had pneumonia, and it weakened him. But anyways, at that time of the Gemara, it was a medical. We still occasionally do phlebotomy if someone has a very high blood count, a high hematocrit. So it's risky because it'll sludge. So we advise those people to go to the American Red Cross and donate blood every few months, which keeps their blood less sludgy. But anyways, Rabbi Yochanan said that Hakozes Dam is like a refuah she'ein la kitzvah, but therefore it would be paid for by like mizonos. Krevid Rabbi Yochanan v'lei isis abadav v'strich refuah kol yoma. A relative Rabbi Yochanan had a wife, the wife of a father who died, needed refuah every day, and they wanted to know, do we still have to pay for this? Go to a doctor, let him give you a set price, and then it would be begetter sheyesh la kitzvah, and then you can deduct the amount from the ksuba, and then you're done with it. You give her a fixed volume. He realized that as a dayan, he helped his family. He felt bad that he gave an eitzah like this to the Baldin. He's supposed to be impartial. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? Meikara my serval l'sof by serval. I mean, what did he hold initially that he gave them the advice? And what did he hold at the end? Meikara serval mipsarcha l'sisale. You're not supposed to turn your face away from your family. You're supposed to help your family. L'sof serval adam chashuv shayni. He's an adam chashuv. If he did this, people will learn not to do the wrong thing, and so he changed his mind. Mishnah. If he didn't write the following, any male children that you have from me, so what's going to happen is like this. He gives his wife, he has multiple wives. So the male children from wife number one, from Rachel. So let's say Rachel has $100,000 ksub, and then she dies. So this guarantees the male children that they don't have to share that. So let's say the Baal inherits that. So that which was designated for the ksuba, or let's say goes to the estate. Let's say the husband dies, and then let's say belongs to the wife has paid that out, and then she dies. So they're gonna and there's other brothers from the same father but have a different mother. So the Kesubos Dichron, they have a share in that, and the other brothers don't. They'll have a share in their mother's ksuba, and they'll have a share of the father's assets. It's a way to preserve the woman's assets. Or let's say she received in the dunya from her father, from the wife's father, from the grandfather. So it goes to the male children. That's what this clause of Kesubos Dichron. What this Mishnah is telling us is if they don't write it in, it's a T'nai Bezdin. Just like the other things we said, if they don't write 200 zuz, he still has to pay 200 zuz. So the Kesubos Dichron is also, doesn't have to be written. Chayiv, Shu T'nai Bezdin. B'non Nukvin, D'Yeven Lachem Ino Yavin Yosfim Bevesi. So they write that all the female daughters that you're going to have will be able to sit in my home and get mezonos menachosei ad titlochin legurv until they get married. So if the father dies, the daughters are supported by the Yisomim until they get married. And even if they didn't write it, chayiv shehu t'nai bezdin. Then what about her? You will remain as the almana in your house and get mezonos from the Yisomim for your whole life. As long as you're a widow. Once she gets married to somebody else, he doesn't have to pay that anymore. And even if they don't write it, chayiv shu t'nai bezdin. And all of this, kachayu anshe Yerushalayim koisvin. This was the language, that was the nusach in Yerushalayim. Anshe Galil ayu koisvin kanche Yerushalayim. In the Galil, they wrote the same way. Anshe Yilil ayu koisvin ad sheyirtzu ayorshin litin l'chak subasech. They have an out. That means the version of the Yerushalayim nusach goes on forever. There's no out. In Yehuda, they gave an out. They said the Yisomim can pay her off for ksuba, and they'll say geg is unterheit, and we don't have to pay mezonos anymore. The sum value of the ksuba is calculated, it's paid off to her, and then she goes her own way. Lifichach emrotzu yorshim noisla ksubasa upoitru noisa. What was the reason for the Kesubos Dichron? Rashi, if the wife dies, the Baal inherits her. Lama tiknu sheyorish livonea ma sheyarash mimena. Why did they make the takana that which the husband was moirish from her, it goes to those male children? Dainu nedunya shula, meaning gifts that were given to her by her father. This guarantee, this allows a man to give a lot of gifts while he's alive, or in the nedunya to his daughter, because he doesn't have to fear that it's going to be lost to other children. It will remain in his male heirs. So, well, this seems to be going against the Torah, Because the Torah says, who inherits a father? The son.
The boys.
So, Barta lo teres. V'as rabbanim metaktin de teres Barta. This is a way around the problem in Judaism that only the sons inherit. The Gemara just advised the fathers to give, while he's alive, a lot of his assets to the girl as a nedunya through the ksuba. And the ksuba's language guarantees that will stay with the male children because they'll always inherit that portion. So the Gemara says, "Hanami deraisahu." That's also us. There's a pasuk in Yirmiyah. T'chsiv, "Chu nashim v'olidu banim uvanos, u'chu livnechem nashim, v'esbnoisechem tnu lanashim." So bishlam abanim b'idei kaimi. I understand he finds wives for his sons. Elabante mi kaimin biyode. It's not so simple. Women don't go chasing after men. Hakamash Balan, the nalbisha v'nichsa. What happens is he gives her very expensive clothing and a lot of assets so that men will want to marry them. And create an incentive for the men to marry the women. So it's already a midoraisa that you're supposed to give to the girls. Now, ad kama, you give 1/10 of your assets to your daughter as a nedunya. The ema, the av leiris. Maybe that which the father gave as gifts in the ksubas and the dunya, that'll go to the banim. But maybe the baal lo leiris. Maybe, remember, the baal also gives part of the ksuba to the wife, if he divorces her or whatever. Maybe that part the banim don't get. If that's true, the father won't write a big gift in there. If they don't inherit it, if that of the ksubas of the Baal, the Ab won't give a lot. The father won't give. Maybe we go up after what's written. When the father wrote in the ksuba a big nedunya, and the Baal matches it, fine. But maybe if the father doesn't give a big nedunya, maybe the husband shouldn't do it either. So the Gemara says, no, lo plug rabon. We're not going to make, even though the takana was done so that the fathers will give in the dunya, it's the same for all women. So bas bein abonim nami teres. So why only the male children? What's the daughter? So the Gemara says, Kanach lo shavir abonon. Listen, the Chachamim followed the Torah. By Nachla, they only gave it to the sons, so they don't give it to the daughter. Okay, so bas bein abonos teres. So, but if there's only bonois, why don't we say that they should also inherit? Lo plug rabbonon. No, they made it as a lo plug, only the males. We learned in the Mishnah that this ksuvas benedikran is only from karka. Why not? Why can't they collect the metaltalin? Ksuva shavir abonon. They made it like the ksuba, which also has to be backed by land. So titrof mimim shabdi. The ksuba has the power to take it away from people that the assets were sold to. The Gemara says yar sun tznan. this is like a Yerusha. A Yerusha is not taken from things that the father sold already, from Mishubad. Moiser dinner. Maybe they'll inherit even though there's not an extra dinner beyond. In such a case where there would be no nachla deraisa, the Chachamim also would not give a nachla. Rav Papa Yasek Lebrei Be'abasura. Rav Papa was, I guess, occupied in getting his son married. Also, the Michtav L'Ksubos. They came to write the Ksuba. You see now, gentlemen, you have to be a big Talmid Chacham to get married because you could get swindle. I mean, you have to know what you're doing when you're writing the Ksuba. Shama Yudabam Reymar. So Yudabam Reymar heard that they were going to write the Ksuba. Nofak Asa Ischazile. He went to look, just like today, when you go to a wedding, you see Talmidei Chachamim hovering around the Ksuba to see what they're writing there. He wanted to greet him. When he came to the door of Abasura, he didn't want to come in. So he invited him to come inside. Rav Papa said he didn't want to come inside. Or he didn't want him to come inside. We'll finish the story tomorrow or next time we learn.
Wednesday.
Ernie.
Have
Goya,
a safe
All right.
trip.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
Safe
Very,
have a great trip, Ernie.
thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Ernie.
Thank you.
Goya.
Yeah.
Yeah.